Episode 238, Simple Business Growth Steps with Bonnie Wiscombe.
Welcome to Latter-day Life Coaches, the podcast where each episode is a conversation between me, Heather Rackham, and one of my amazing coach colleagues. Each coach here is a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and a highly trained, experienced life coach making a great impact in the lives of their clients. And together, we have one main goal, helping you live your best life no matter what. You ready for this conversation with a coach? Here we go.
In this practical, business-focused episode, Heather welcomes Coach Bonnie Wiscombe to discuss the essential but often overwhelming steps of growing a business. Bonnie shares her personal journey as a life and business coach while raising 10 kids and explains how to consistently build a thriving business without perfectionism. They dive into the 3 essential steps every business owner must take: lead generation, nurturing, and prompting sales, and explore how faith, mindset, and simple tools can fuel your growth. Whether you're a coach, creative, or entrepreneur, you'll walk away with clarity, courage, and concrete next steps. Please enjoy.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the podcast today. I have Coach Bonnie Wiscombe with me. Hey, Bonnie, how you doing?
Hello, how are you?
Fantastic. Thanks for being here with me. Bonnie's been on with me before, but I'm going to have her give a quick recap on who she is and what she does so you guys can know all about her. So, Bonnie, why don't you go ahead?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I am a life coach and a business coach. I help life coaches get started and also get unstuck when they're not making money and wondering why. So that's my passion, is business and coaching and all the things related to that. And I live in Arizona. I have 10 kids, 9 at home right now, and about 1 million chickens at our house. So it's always loud and crazy. If you come listen to my podcast, you'll probably hear a chicken squawking or a kid in the background. So,
well, everyone's just picking themselves off the floor from having you say you have 10 kids, because everyone's, like that's usually a little shocking for some people, because that's not very typical. And
I know,
especially somebody who's running business and doing all those things. So it's pretty impressive.
Thank you. Well, I just joke that I've always had, so I've been an online business owner for over 10 years now. And I do that so that I don't go crazy, because if I only just did laundry and cleaned up messes all day long, I think I might lose my mind. So this is like my, the part that fulfills me a little bit, even if I only get to do it for an hour here and there.
Yeah, that's awesome. And the chickens just are a good time. I have a chicken that's adopted us. I have goats. We just had 9 baby goats born in this season.
Oh my gosh.
Accidentally. I was not a very responsible goat keeper, apparently. So anyway, we have 9 baby goats, but a chicken that has like all of a sudden started laying eggs in our little barn. And I know. Lucky us. So
I feel like a stray chicken is like a golden goose these days, but with what eggs cost, keep that thing safe.
It's true. Okay. This is we could just talk about this the whole time, but probably we should give the people something a little bit more, I don't know, intentional and helpful in their lives than goats and chickens. So, okay. All right, Bonnie. Yeah. So I'm excited for us to talk today and see where our conversation goes. It's interesting because as coaches, and I know it's not just coaches listening to this. In fact, it's mostly not life coaches that listen to this podcast, but it's people looking for tools and skills in their life. But as coaches, we like to coach. And then there's this other thing that we have to do, which is build a business. And it's the same for anybody, right? Like anybody who maybe has an online business or like an Etsy store or something, like you have a craft you like to do, but there's also this other side where you have to actually be an entrepreneur. And that's a different skill set in and of itself. So I always love being able to have these sorts of conversations and pick the brains of people who are good in this area, because I feel like we need all the help we can get.
Yeah. And so many people just feel this like divine call to be a coach or really anything. I talk to moms all the time that are like, I wanted to just be a mom, but then I felt like I should do this other thing. And yet then, like you say, that becomes our craft, or we're like this amazing technician of one kind or another. And then the business skills is a whole other thing. Right. And sometimes we don't know what we don't know until we're in the middle of it. We're like, oh shoot, I didn't know any of this. I've got to learn so many new skills. And that's my favorite thing.
And even that, sometimes you do know what what you'll have to do, and that can stop you in your tracks before you even get started. And I tend to fall in that camp a lot of times. Like, I'm just like, I have this fear of rejection and disappointment. And so sometimes I just don't even do the thing that I would really like to do, because when
Yeah.
things don't go the way I want them to do, that's how I interpret them,
Yeah.
and
Well,
anyway, so
you're in good company. Welcome to being human, right? I don't want to do that
yes.
thing because people are going to think I'm stupid.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Okay. So let's give our audience some things that they can take with them and learn today. Tell me, like, what are some simple actions that every business owner needs to focus on consistently if they are wanting growth and they're wanting to make money, which some people will say, well, it's not about the money. It's about, it's about being able to do what I want to do. But they kind of go hand in hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the more money you make, it's like an indicator that you're actually growing and you're being able to do the things that you want to do.
Yeah. And the money actually fuels the business so you can continue to help people and
Yes.
serve in the way you feel inspired to, for sure. So this is kind of a funny story. Like I was saying, have built online businesses for a long, long time. I've had a business in just about any industry you can think of, because I was like, that sounds interesting. Let's start a business about that, right? So fun. And then it was probably, I don't know, at least 5 years in that I was like, there's got to be a better system for making money. I'm just like throwing spaghetti at the wall, like posting on Instagram, maybe sending an email, maybe doing a pop-up shop or whatever. And nothing yielded consistent results until I finally figured out that there was a very proven method that every customer or client went through before they purchased. And this is a really fun activity to do. Ask yourself where the last time was that you shopped, especially if it's a new place, like maybe a new boutique or something, and ask yourself if you can recall what your customer journey was. Like, how did you first hear about them? How long did you think about the purchase before you made it? What caused you to actually make the purchase? And if you think about it, very often there are 3 main steps to that journey. And that, as business owners, is what we're trying to replicate. We're trying to replicate the step of finding the strangers. So we call that lead generation. We go find the strangers, get them interested in us.
Mm-hmm.
Then we pull them into our world, and then we nurture them, right? We send them emails or videos or, inspiring posts, and we get them kind of warmed up to whatever we have to offer. Hey, don't you want to look at this Etsy shop? Don't you want to think about this or that? Or we give them some free help, maybe if we're a content or a service business. And then that final step is we prompt them to buy in one way or another. And that sometimes is as simple as, hey, I'm having a discount, or I have 3 spots left, or you just give them some incentive to finally take that action. But we all go through these steps. Every single one of us goes through these 3 steps. And sometimes they're very quick, like we do them in an afternoon. Sometimes they take us 7 years to go through. Like, we've heard of a shop for years and years and years before we actually buy from them. The trick is, obviously, we want that to be sped up in our own businesses, but those are the 3 steps. And if you can make sure you're doing something in each one of those, then you will have business.
Okay, so you make it sound so simple. But here, let me tell you. Let me tell you what my brain does, and I'm sure many people do. Okay, well, I've heard those terms before, right? Like lead magnets and nurturing my audience. Like, we've heard those things before, but then we think, okay, but what I create or what I do in those 3 areas has to be perfect.
Mm.
And so that can stop people there, right? Like, if we even get past that, okay, these are the 3 things that I need to be working on. Sometimes we freeze thinking, I don't even know what to do, or I don't know what to create. It has to be perfect. Tell me, how do we get past that? What do we do?
Well, I love that you brought that up, because that's why I am also a life coach on top of being a business coach. People are like, why do you need to be a life coach? I'm like, let me tell you, because I say, go do this thing. And they're like, I can't do that thing. I'm terrible at that thing. And we have to deal with these stories that we have in our heads, right? And I kind of learned this over the years gradually, like, if I'm afraid to do this, I don't do the thing and then I don't get the results, right? And then coaching helped me move through. But that's what we work on. Is like, okay, let's take a look at that story. What happens if you post something imperfectly and you look dumb and your hair's bad and your house is a mess, whatever? What happens? Well, you can come up with all kinds of results.
Yeah,
Like, somebody's
right.
going to think I'm lame, or they're going to know I'm not a good mom or whatever. And we get to just, okay, and then what? And what does that mean about us, right? We get to just control the narrative inside our brain. And it's never easy. I make it sound easy, but it's not, because we all deal with it. And once you get over one, like, okay, now I can post on Instagram. I'm okay if people know my house isn't perfect. And then the next thing comes up. Then it's like, oh, I got to write an email. Oh, shoot, I don't know how to write. People are going to think this is silly, right? So It is all just mind management over and over and over again. And I will say this about perfection too. We all know perfection is the enemy of everything, of action in general, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the more we come across perfect online, the fewer people relate to us. And we want people to feel like they belong with us. We want them to feel like they belong in our communities, they belong in our friendship groups, they belong on our email list, whatever we're building. And no one wants to belong where people are all perfect. I ain't about that because I'm not perfect and I don't want to be a part of that because I don't belong there.
Mm-hmm.
So just a good reminder.
Yeah, that is really true. We all know those people that we're like, oh, I got to just quit following this person
Yes,
on
I feel terrible
Instagram
every time I
because
see you. I'm sorry, I have to
yes,
unfollow.
yes, yes. And why would we want, like why not be ourselves? Why try to be something other than ourselves? Because that's truly what people want, right? If they are
Mhm.
wanting something from you, it's because they want what you have to offer, not what your neighbor has to offer. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you'd be building a completely different
Yeah.
business.
Yeah. Yeah. People are drawn to you because of something, your personality, the way you
Mhm.
talk, the way you phrase things, whatever. And very often, some of those reasons involve your imperfections. People
Yeah.
are drawn to you because your hair's kind of crazy, because, whatever, a kid always runs in the background. It doesn't matter. Like they feel some sort of connection there. I tell this story all the time, but there's an influencer I followed for many years who was like just the epitome of perfection. One of those where I'm like, I can't follow you. I feel awful.
Uh-huh.
And she had a post once where her little baby threw up on her and her sister caught a picture of it and she posted it. And that picture got more engagement than like the last 30 posts she had posted because everyone was like, oh, she's human. Her kid pukes. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. And all of a sudden people felt more connected.
Yeah.
So I mean, we don't have to manufacture this stuff. This is just how we are, just human and normal. It's all valuable to share.
That is so true. So then how often should we be doing things in those three areas? And this is wow, like this is another one of those things where it will just stop them before they start. They're like, well, if I start doing a podcast, which I would consider probably like the nurturing phase of a relationship, really, or it could be like a lead, whatever, getting people to meet you. Some people don't even want to start that because then they're like, well, I'm just going to have to start doing this and I'm never going to be able to stop. I'm going to have to do it forever. Right. Like, so they'll stop before they even start. And so, but I know that there has to be some consistency. I don't know. What would you say to that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I generally tell people you want to do something in each one of those phases every single week, but you start very, very simply. So when I finally discovered this kind of magic secret, I
Mm-hmm.
realized that everything I was doing was in the nurturing phase. I was sending emails and doing Instagram posts and all these things because that's where I felt the most comfortable. I didn't really want to
Mm-hmm.
talk to strangers and I didn't really want to ask for a sale. I just wanted to give people help for free all the time. And very often, and with my clients, I see the same thing. That's just all they want to do, right? But every week you should be trying to find new people to enter your universe, your email list, right? Your world. Every week you should be doing something to nurture, and every week you should be doing something to prompt people to purchase in one way or another. And for a coach, that might just be get on a consult call, come talk to me. Let's see if we're a good fit, right? For a shop owner, that might be a discount or a promo, or like, hey, we're open late on Tuesday. Come have a girls' night. I don't know, something. So that's kind of just a rough idea. It could be a little bit shorter. You could do more, right? But you just don't want to overwhelm yourself. Like you're saying, you don't want to add 15 things to your to-do list. We all think we're supposed to be on every social platform and we're supposed to be, doing all the ideas you saw so-and-so do. Just pick one in each of those areas and then go out there and make sure you're doing them each consistently.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I want to pick your brain for just a second. Give me some ideas of like that first step in the sequence, the get to know you sort of thing. Like how can people get themselves even in front of somebody? What does that even look like?
Yeah. You would think that would be the easiest step, right? Because we have this
I feel
internet
like it's the
web.
hardest though.
It really is very often. We have the potential to get in front of tons of people, but the question is, are we actually doing that? And is it the right people? So
Mm-hmm.
two things here. Number one, there are two ways to do this. There is paid ways, right? And organic ways. So there's paid advertising, paid, maybe getting on somebody's podcast, you're going to pay them to be a guest or whatever. I don't know how that works sometimes. Or the organic, like you're going to just post a ton yourself. You're going to get in front of other people's audiences. When people are starting and they're low on capital to invest in their business, I always recommend the organic marketing that is getting in front of other people's audiences. So it looks like being a guest on people's podcasts. It looks like asking if you can guest post for them. It looks like doing an Instagram live together with another audience. They don't have to have a huge audience, but somebody who has a similar audience to you. You have some crossover, right? So you're going to do that, maybe some paid marketing. And the other thing to remember is that you want to make sure your messaging is very, very clear. So this is one of the biggest things I work with clients on, because we like to think our messaging is clear, but it's all up in our head. And when we say it out loud, people are like, huh, sometimes we use like industry speak or techno babble or something, and people don't really understand what we're saying. So I like to do, when I first start playing with my messaging, like I create an elevator pitch and ask people what they think. I like to ask people that have no idea what I'm doing and don't even know me, like maybe even a stranger on the street or something, like, if I said this, would you know what that meant? Right. And you want your ideal audience to really self-select and go, oh, that's me when you say that, right? You know, it's the difference between I help overwhelmed moms and I help moms of boys under the age of 5 who are diagnosed with ADHD. Like, big difference, right?
Yeah.
They're self-selecting, going, oh my gosh, that's me. I feel seen, right? So very clear messaging, and then deciding, are you going to do paid or organic marketing or a combination, getting in front of people's audiences, other people's audiences, so you can spread the word.
Okay, thank you. I think that's helpful. Just giving people some ideas of where to even start.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'm a scheduler person. I like a schedule. I like to have a routine. And some people don't like that, but I feel like for me, it's super helpful. There are a lot of tools available as far as scheduling goes. I know you can schedule all sorts of different things in different ways, but what do you recommend in that area as far as setting schedules or even using AI to help in business building?
I love this question too. So again, I don't want to overwhelm anyone. There are so many tools and so much capacity for organization now that you really can dive into the deep end and get a little overwhelmed. The first thing I would say, if you feel like you're just a total hot mess when it comes to your tasks, I would say just start with a very simple to-do list app. The one I've been using for years is called Things. It's really easy. It works on your computer and on your phone. And you basically are just making a checklist and checking it off, right? It gets a little overwhelming when you start to do big projects, so I'll get to that in a second. But what I've done with mine is I've separated my personal tasks from my business tasks. And I know in the morning I try to get my personal stuff done, order groceries, whatever, organize my kids' closet. And then in the afternoon is when I do my work and I check off those projects. If you're ready to upgrade from a basic to-do list, then I would highly recommend a task manager. So something like Todoist, Asana, Trello, Monday, one of those that can take projects and organize them a little bit more granularly, right? You're getting a little bit more detailed, and you can actually integrate those with your calendar. So if you're the kind like you, Heather, you want to open up your calendar and just know exactly what you're supposed to do that day, then those task managers can do that with your calendar. I'm currently playing with an AI tool that my coach is teaching me how to use. It's called Reclaim. And basically what it does is it takes the tasks from your task manager and it slots them in your calendar where they best fit. So it's really cool. So like, let's say I have from 2 to 4 to work on my business and I have a few things slotted in there, but a client books in that time, then the AI of Reclaim will just resort it all and put it in the place where it belongs in my work hours, according to priority. It's very, very cool. So if you're a little bit more advanced and you're ready for something to keep you a little bit more organized, it's basically like having an AI virtual assistant.
Ooh, that's so awesome. I'm never cease to be amazed by the capabilities of AI out there right now.
We live in the coolest time ever. I know there's a lot of not so great about the latter days, but I'm telling you, when it comes to building a business, it has never been easier, quicker, cheaper to find 1 million people online, literally 1 million, approach them with your offer and sell. So it's just a very, very exciting time to build a business. So many tools out there to make life easy.
Yeah, it is. And I love it. And you could spend all day playing around trying to find them. So it's fun to have people just make recommendations like you have just done to kind of narrow that down for us. What kind of results have you seen your clients get from consistently applying the simple business tools that you've talked about today?
Well, the first one, and this seems little, but it's not little, and it's just the lesson to overwhelm. Like like I was saying back in the day when I was just throwing spaghetti at the wall, hoping that something stuck, it felt so discouraging to never know if something was going to work. And so now that it's very, very easy to tell when I'm not getting clients why. In fact, I was just talking to my coach, and I was saying that something wasn't working, and we were just remembering, oh, but where does that slot in those three steps? Oh, that's a selling step. Are you doing enough of that? No, I'm not doing enough of that. That's why they're not converting from this step to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're not as overwhelmed. You're not as hopeless, right? Because it's not like nothing is working. It's a system. It's a equation, right?
Yeah.
1 plus 2, 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 3. And if it doesn't equal 3, then there's a hole somewhere and they're not making it all the way through. Where can I tighten things up and make sure that my potential clients are making it all the way through the journey? And then it's making more money, right? And there is something so powerful about getting a sale in your business, especially if it's been a while, or if you're a little behind the goals you set for yourself. All of a sudden, it boosts your faith, right? It requires a lot of faith to build a business. And we're no strangers to faith, right? But at the same time, faith in a business is different. Like, is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? Does God approve of this? Am I good enough for this? Is this going to make a difference in the world? And when you make a sale, it's like, yeah, it is, right? It's just a little bit of evidence you need to keep going.
Yeah, it's so interesting, the mind management it takes, the things that your brain will try to feed you and tell you or have you doubt when you put yourself in an uncomfortable position like growing a business.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is different for most of us than anything else we've done.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is nice to have a little bit of guidance. All right.
Yeah, and I was
Go
just gonna
ahead.
say, I really believe that God calls so many of us to it because there's this growth that we can have.
Mhm.
And we're like, oh, but I don't really want it. But what if it puts you in this position to be able to help and serve and become just this better version of yourself to your family and your community and everyone? Like, what could go wrong? You could
Yeah.
fail. You could be embarrassed. Like, let's just try it, right?
Yeah, try something. I can't remember which one of the coaches said this, but somebody recording a podcast with me one time said, and don't you think that our heavenly parents want to work on a project with us? Like we, as parents, it's fun to have a project to work on with our kids. And I'm
Mhm.
always like, well, what can we do together? And it's got to be the same for our heavenly parents, right?
Yeah.
Like they want to work on something with us. They want to have that sort of relationship with us. And so why not? Why not involve them? Why not take the chance and do something that's a little bit different?
Yeah, I totally agree. And don't forget to tap in,
Yeah.
right? To your divine source of knowledge.
Yeah.
Like, is this the right way? Should I be changing things a little bit? I never fail to get an answer. It might not be the one I want. Like, tell
I
me what to
know.
do next. But there's always something, a little bit of encouragement there.
Yeah, no, so true. So good. Well, Bonnie, thank you. I love like this is just good bite size and actionable items that we can take. And I really appreciate it. Um, and I'm grateful to be able to share this knowledge with other people. So thanks for being with me. Can
Yes, thanks so much
you,
for having me.
before we take off, will you share with people how they can connect with you?
Yes, you can come find me on Instagram at Bonnie Wiscombe, or my website is bonniewiscombe.com. And if you are a business owner and you want a little bit of help, I have free office hours every week on Thursdays. And you can come sign up for those and come ask her questions or get a little bit of coaching or whatever. Get a little bit of hope if you're feeling a little hopeless, things aren't working out. I'd love to help you.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. It's a great offer for people. Thank you everybody for being here. And we will hope to see you again next time. And Bonnie, thank you so much.
Thanks, Heather. Bye-bye.
Hey, we just wanted to thank you for spending part of your day here with us at Latter-day Life Coaches and being part of this conversation. Share this with your friends so that you can have a conversation with them on this topic as well. And as always, subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. Have a good one, my friends.